Right now, sunlight is touching your side of the planet. It left the surface of a star 8 minutes ago, crossed 150 million kilometers of emptiness, and landed on your skin without you even noticing. If the sun were to disappear in this second, you wouldn't know, not for 8 minutes. You would keep breathing, keep walking, keep orbiting a star that no longer exists. 8 minutes of borrowed time, and then everything falls apart. We take the sun for granted more than anything else in the universe. It rises, it sets. It has done so for 4.5 billion years without missing a single morning. More constant than the ground beneath your feet, more predictable than your own heartbeat. Every civilization that has ever existed built its world around this star. Every harvest, every prayer, every calendar anchored to a ball of hydrogen 1.3 million times larger than Earth. And since it has never failed us even once, we assume it never will. But the sun doesn't just illuminate the world, it sustains it, keeps us in orbit. It prevents our atmosphere from disintegrating. Take it away suddenly, and what's left isn't a planet, it's a coffin traveling at 30 kilometers per second through the darkness. Let's start the clock. Second 0. The sun disappears. It doesn't explode, it vanishes. Every hydrogen atom, every strand of plasma, every photon halfway from its core vanishes, and nothing happens. For 8 minutes and 20 seconds, the Earth looks exactly the same. The sky is blue. Someone is pouring coffee. A dog sleeps in a square of light that came from a dead star. The light that reaches your eyes is a fossil, a message from something that no longer exists. But here's where it gets weird. Gravity, according to Einstein, also travels at the speed of light. The gravitational tether that keeps Earth in its orbit remains taut. For those 8 minutes, our planet continues to obediently curve around a point in space where a star once stood. We are orbiting a memory. Then comes minute 8, second 20. The last photon hits the atmosphere, the last gravitational whisper fades, and the world unravels. The first thing you notice, if you're on the day side, is that the sky goes dark. It doesn't dim, it doesn't fade, it goes out. One instant the sun is there. The next it's gone. The fastest dusk in the planet's history. The moon darkens in less than a second. People forget that the moon doesn't produce its own light, it's a mirror. And when the source disappears, the reflection dies with it. The moon becomes a black circle silhouetted against the stars. You only know it's there because the stars behind it are missing. On the night side, it's worse. You wouldn't notice right away. It's already dark. Perhaps the moon disappears and you think eclipse. But no one calls it an eclipse for long, because the sun doesn't return. What rose every morning, since before humans had language, stopped. And nothing in 4 million years of evolution has prepared us to process that phrase. Now comes the part no one thinks about, not the darkness, but the trajectory. The moment the sun's gravity ceases to reach us, the Earth stops curving. It doesn't spiral inward, nor does it slow down. It goes in a straight line like a stone released from a ripple. The direction the Earth was moving in at 820 seconds is its new course. Forever. We become a wandering planet, 30 kilometers per second toward nothingness, and we are not alone in this. Mercury is flung in one direction, Venus in another. Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, each launched along its own path the instant the tether snapped. The solar system doesn't collapse, it disperses like an explosion in slow motion. For 0.5 billion years of orbital clockwork dissolved in 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Earth is now alone, heading toward a very cold place. The temperature doesn't plummet. Earth's atmosphere is a thin, increasingly useless blanket, but it retains more heat than you'd expect. On the first day, there might be a drop of 10 grams. It would be uncomfortable, but not lethal. By the end of the first week, it's below 0. Everywhere, the equator feels like Antarctica. In 1 year, the surface reaches -73 degrees Celsius, colder than any temperature ever recorded on Earth. The oceans freeze from above, an ice crust spreading across the Pacific like a slow-burning scar, but the ice is insulated, and below, the ocean remains liquid, kept barely warm by geothermal heat escaping from the planet's core. Radioactive decay feeds that heat. Earth's internal engine keeps running on fuel that won't run out for millions of years. The bottom ocean could remain liquid for millennia. And then, centuries later, something that sounds like fiction, but isn't. The atmosphere freezes, nitrogen solidifies at -210 degrees Celsius, oxygen at -218 degrees Celsius. Given enough time without a sun, Earth reaches those temperatures, and when it does, the air doesn't stay still. It falls like snow. Nitrogen snow, oxygen frost, a few meters of frozen sky above the ground. Above, nothing. Empty, windless, weatherless, soundless. Earth becomes indistinguishable from a dead comet. Almost kilometers beneath the ice, beneath the dead oceans, near cracks in Earth's mantle, there are sources, hydrothermal vents. And right now, today, they are feeding entire ecosystems that have never seen the sun, not once in their entire evolutionary history. Tube worms, chemosynthetic bacteria, creatures that eat sulfur and heat instead of light. They don't need the sun because they never did. On a land without sun, without atmosphere, without light, adrift in interstellar space, they would survive for hundreds of millions of years. Everything we just imagined, the darkness, the cold, the silence, is not a thought experiment. It's a preview. The only difference is the calendar. So tomorrow morning, when the sun rises, remember this, one day it won't. Every sunrise is a countdown, and time doesn't stop.